Okay, time for game 2 of this best of 3 series. Let's keep following up this big battle, intense battle between a European player and a North American player. Zerg versus Protoss for the second time on this awesome duel. First game was quite action-packed and intense, so I'm hoping for something similar to that to come here on the second game. We're gonna be having spawning on this top right position this red Zerg going by the name of DIMAGA. Ukrainian Zerg beast, one of the most solid and consistent Zergs here on the European side of the community, facing once more against this orange Protoss, spawning on this bottom left position on Shakura's plateau, and representing North American side of the community, it's desRow. Canadian Protoss player, Grandmaster's material, trying to hold his ground against the Ukrainian beast, and well, we all know it isn't easy, and as you guys know, or else I'm gonna be spoiling it a little bit for whoever haven't watched game 1. The fact is that DIMAGA is leading 1-0 at the moment, and desRow needs to bring his A game to the table for this second game. If he wants to take this into an ace match, a final battle, he needs to win here. If you guys recall on game 1, well, desRow had a kind of a quirky approach to that game, very heavy on the macro, on the economy play, didn't have much of an army for quite a while, and then decided to tech up quite fast. He had a lot of options to tech up, and basically committed way too many resources, and DIMAGA just decided to grab 3 bases, make a pile of roaches, and well, when the roaches start knocking on desRow's door, desRow didn't have much of an army, and he was able to defend like the first and the second wave of aggression, but then he didn't have enough. He wasn't able to replenish as fast as the Zerg player, as DIMAGA. So DIMAGA, after losing like the first couple of waves of roaches, he was just able to trample his opponent and force him to GG and tap out of the match. So I guess that desRow needs to bring a different plan to this game. For now, as you can see inside DIMAGA's base, deciding to go for that spawning pool first. Basically he knows that that probe will be trying to harass him and be annoying on this natural expo, so instead of just fighting over the position here and denied there again. But like I was saying, instead of fighting here and losing time trying to get that hatchery down, and landed, nice one there. I keep interrupting myself, this is not normal. But but as you can see, he was able to finally land it, but at the same time he took care of his spawning pool, and now he's gonna get some Zerglings out. Meanwhile on desRow's side, well, again going for that fast nexus with the forge and trying to make some sort of long wall here on this ramp that gives access to the natural expo. It is a good option on this map, but I'm hoping that he's not going to go exactly the same way he did on the previous game on Metalopolis, because he just decided to macro and tech and do everything, and all of a sudden he didn't have much of an army to answer back onto DIMAGA's army, onto the roach force that DIMAGA assembled there. Notice this movement by DIMAGA is just spreading all of his Zerglings around the map, and seems like he might be trying to take control. Yeah, there it is. Salnaga Watchtower is going to pick up this one as well, and at the same time we're going to have already a drone here, so there it is, really quick hatchery with one single Zergling climbing here up the ramp, noticing the fact that desRow actually is expanding fast again to his natural expo and committing again to some economy play, and maybe DIMAGA is just feeling safe enough to commit himself to this 3 base play blistering fast. At 4 minutes he had the 3rd hatchery landed, and well, what comes out of here, it's going to be a huge macro play for DIMAGA unless desRow has a plan. I hope his plan includes some sort of aggression, because if he just allows DIMAGA to macro all he wants, well, he's going to be in trouble. Inside desRow mains base, first assimilator just finished, no signs of gas heavy or intense build getting prepared for now, still much too soon, and he's just committing all of his resources to get this wall off, this sturdy wall off rolling, and also preparing to start massing up a proper army. That cybercore is getting landed there on the back of that front line of this big wall that desRow is establishing here. Still a little gap, probably will be filled up with that zealot. And meanwhile here on DIMAGA land, let's take a look, picking up all the gas inside his main base. No signs of gas here, still getting some more drones, he's droning quite a lot. Well, he needs to fill up this mineral line here, that's for sure, so I guess we're not gonna have many aggression units coming out from DIMAGA anytime soon. He's just working on his economy. Look at that row, 9 drones in a row, okay, and at the same time he's just taking notes of everything going on inside desRow's natural expo, so everything rolling fine, and seems like that desRow might have a plan here. He's already taking care of his weapons level 1, though he doesn't have much of an army for now, and this might be a sign of something. There it is. Okay, gateways, 3, 4, we have 4 gateways here, 5, 6 gateways out of 2 bases. Quite interesting. I mean, it's a fairly regular and normal and common build for Protosses. 6 gateways out of 2 bases is something that you see with some frequency, and might be a sign that desRow is preparing some sort of time push. Maybe just pump out a lot of units out, getting that warp gate tech rolling as well, and when that +1 hits, it just pushes with all of his units out and try to crush DIMAGA. Will it work? Well, I'm not sure. For now, DIMAGA is taking complete dominance here on the map. Finally, desRow will be able to take one of those Zerglings from the Xel'Naga Watchtower and start to slowly thwart the aggression that DIMAGA has been sending his way. Oh, no chance for that Zealot. Nice surround. Well surrounded there and back into map control. So I guess that attempt of removing map control from DIMAGA's clutches didn't last long. And meanwhile, inside his base, whoa! Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways out of 2 bases. This is gonna be brutal. He's clearly planning some sort of push. His +1 is almost hitting, but meanwhile on the DIMAGA side, as you can see, he's gonna go for that double Evo once more on his build with the Roach Warren. So upgrades all the way. Already the +1 for the Zerglings and the +1 for the Roaches is being worked on, and at the same time he might be able to have a big army coming out of here, because the production out of 3 bases will be quite solid. Running away, taking control of that Xel'Naga Watchtower, finally desRow, even placing a pylon here. Now with the warp gate tech, he will be able to just advance much faster onto the mid of the map, even closer to DIMAGA's base. Oh, seems like he's quite serious about this proxy pylons. Look at this, 3 of them there on that position. DIMAGA spotted it with his 2 Zerglings, by the way. I'm pretty sure he saw something there. Yes, he did, as you can see. But DIMAGA was just massing up a nice Zergling count in front of the ramp that gives access to the natural expo from desRow. And now coming back because he noticed there's a lot of units advancing towards his bases. Here he comes, Stalkers and Zerglings, a ton of units getting warped in, and they're going to climb up this ramp to the 3rd base of DIMAGA, and the battle ensues. Massive battle going on here. Roaches trying to defend, but desRow has a lot of units. Let's take a look there. 6 Roaches with 13 Zerglings against 6 Stalkers and 12 Zealots. Quite a massive force, all with +1, keep that in mind. Rolling there, still the +1 upgrades for DIMAGA, trying to get finished, close to get finished, but not yet. And all of these Stalkers and Zealots were able to raise the base here. There's still the hatchery alive and kicking, making a lot of Roaches. Seems like he's gonna have a lot of units coming out of those hags. But desRow is gonna wait. Seems like he's just gonna try to roast this base, crush every unit coming out of those eggs, and then finish off the hatchery to get DIMAGA back into 2-base play. But DIMAGA is completely restless on his macro. He just decided to go for another base there. Supposed to be his 4th, but he's going to be his 3rd now. Already sending workers, and we're going to have another battle ensuing here. Closer and closer to the main base of DIMAGA. Now right in front of his natural expo, and also with easy access to that 3rd base of his. But seems like that desRow is just climbing up that ramp, coming into the base, and he's going to try to slap DIMAGA back and forth, left and right, crush him and show him who's boss, showing that it's not only him that can produce a big mass of units early on the game and just crush his opponent. It's desRow's turn, but desRow pulling back. Seems like he's going to go for this 3rd of DIMAGA. It's completely undefended, but there's more units getting warped in, a lot of Zealots coming out there. And notice the production there. desRow has nothing being worked on. He's just committing all of his resources to get this push successful, just investing all he got on Zealots and Stalkers with that +1 push, and now all of them just rolling here onto the natural expo. Seems like there's a couple of units here on this 3rd. Yeah, they're trying to slice and dice that hatchery, that 3rd base from DIMAGA, and DIMAGA is feeling more and more isolated. From that 3-base play, he's now on 2-base play, losing that hatchery, and again the big push ensuing onto his natural expo. Will he be focusing fire on some of the buildings? Yes, that Evo chamber will be going down quite soon. The Queen is not even close to defend this. Such aggression here by desRow. With DIMAGA in dire straits here, this is getting really complicated. It's hard for him to hold this big wave of Stalkers that desRow keeps throwing at him on and on and on. And notice that he's keeping all his war pins ready and rolling, so he's going to be able to finish off this hatchery. Clearly, no doubt about it. There it is. Hatch is going to go down now, and at the same time he's replenishing his front line all the time with more and more Zealots to take the brunt of the shots, be the buffers, be the ones absorbing the damage while the Stalkers from the back just blast away and try to destroy all of this roach force that DIMAGA keeps sending and pumping out of those hatcheries. As you can see on the production tab, he keeps building more and more roaches. He's trying to defend against this, but there's so many Stalkers advancing into his natural expo. He already lost his third, he lost that one that was supposed to be his fourth, but was his third as well on that position there in front of his main base. And now we're gonna have DIMAGA apparently able to thwart the aggression finally, but no, desRow with another round of warpins with more zealots showing up. There's not enough roaches here to handle this amount of aggression. Roaches trying to hold their ground, DIMAGA trying to buy time, but he's already back into the Stone Age. I'm glad that he still has the Roach Warren, or else this probably would already been over for quite a long time. More warpins. These pylons have becoming really precious. They're the ones gathering all the forces and throwing desRow, pushing desRow ahead to keep pressuring DIMAGA and not allow him to establish a proper defense force or even a proper economy. By this time, I'm pretty sure that DIMAGA's main base is getting close to exhausted. Well, so is desRow's, I'm sure of it. And they will be playing out of one base pretty soon. On the supply, really low, 74, 72 now against 70, and seems like that finally desRow will be able to reach this hatchery and is gonna finish off with DIMAGA stuck playing out of one base now. This is getting so complicated for DIMAGA. DIMAGA with only one base, back into the Stone Age, and desRow still on his 2-base play. Let's take a look on the mineral field. Well, this one still has a little bit. The one on the Natural Expo is still rolling fine. And on DIMAGA side, getting close to exhausted, still a little bit rolling there, and this is really out of the ordinary. An orthodox approach here by DIMAGA, trying to catch desRow by surprise by getting an hatchery all the way back, but seems like, oh, there's a Zergling there controlling, making sure that DIMAGA will be able to notice if desRow heads his way, and here he comes again, climbing his way to fight against these roaches. That Evo chamber doesn't seem he's gonna last long, and with DIMAGA landing another hatchery here on the Natural Expo, try to get his 2-base play rolling once more, and desRow pulling back after doing a lot more damage onto DIMAGA's plans, all of them pushing back, and seems like this is going to be the moment where desRow is going to try to breathe in, rebuild his army, and push once more. I can see on the production tab a robotics going on, and oh, he spotted here this attempt by DIMAGA, so I don't predict much of a future here. DIMAGA is going to lose this hatchery so quickly, and I mean, it was a really quirky option here, a really unorthodox approach to this game. If you would be able to get that one up and just leave it rolling, it would be awesome, like epic, but kinda hard to pull, and I guess that desRow just spotted it. Meanwhile, inside desRow's base, as you can see, there's the robotics facility, so we might be having maybe some immortals coming out after that observer. Should be an option, especially because DIMAGA has been committing to his roach play for quite a long time, and oh, nice fungal there right on top of those Stalkers, with the infestors showing up to the party, trying to help DIMAGA defend this. More infestors coming out, more fungal growth appearing, grinding down those shields, but there's still plenty of Stalkers, with desRow trying to run back home and get those reinforcements coming out of the same warping pylon. Those 3 pylons that desRow placed here on this bottom position have been completely worth it. Very precious pylons that have been providing him with so many warpins, and as long as DIMAGA doesn't reach that spot, he's gonna have a really close position to his opponent's base to keep warping in more and more units. And now with Immortals coming out, I'm saying that we're gonna have a big roach killer here. The Immortals are awesome against roaches, now with the extended range even better, and I can imagine these roaches just dwindling down so quickly on the front of those immortal blasts. So on the DIMAGA side, he decided to mix up his army with some infestors. Infestors are a sweet option, not sure if it's going to be the best. They're quite useful against blink stalkers, but as you can see, there's no blink here, but they are effective against this sort of unit composition, these gateway units that desRow has been investing on for a very long time, and there it is, even queuing up immortals. So seems like you're going to have the immortal force showing up pretty soon, with desRow knowing exactly what he needs to build to keep evolving and pushing DIMAGA further behind, further back onto his main base, because basically he already had DIMAGA on one base play, and DIMAGA now able to get his second base, his Natural Expo, up and running once more, and apparently he's going to be able to reach this area here. We're going to have that Overlord getting killed, and meanwhile a Zealot got warped in here and got that Zergling down, but seems like that DIMAGA might have a chance of going down there now that desRow isn't even close. He's not going to warp in any units, would be too risky, and the Roaches and Zerglings will be able to finish off these 3 pylons. So this forward warp in position by desRow is going to finally be gone. He's been using it for the last 20 minutes on some relentless assault, I would like to say. desRow has been very, very relentless, very dedicated to that aggression, to the point of stopping all production and just spending all of his resources for minutes in a row to get more and more units into his front line. And now seems like that DIMAGA might have a word to say on this game. He's going to try to push out of these 2 bases with some infestors backing up his forces. Infestors loaded with energy, as you can see, none of them maxed out, but plenty of energy to throw some fungals. And inside desRow's base, let's see what he's going for. He's getting more Immortals, oh, double Robo once more. He's getting the 2nd Robotics, but with a complete different approach this time. Hatchery, 3rd base for DIMAGA. Is going to attempt to land this one once more, and seems like that DIMAGA is going to have at least enough breathing space to stabilize his economy once more. Evo Chambers getting produced this time inside the main base. On the economy, fairly close, but everything is very low after 20 minutes of game. Everything is still so low because these 2 players have been blasting at each other for so long. desRow committed everything he had to an army, and DIMAGA has been doing the same to try to resist the wave of aggression from that menacing Protoss death ball. And we're gonna have now Colossus mixed on the fray. Also seems like we're gonna have plenty of Immortals, so we're gonna have some Roach killers rolling here that, well, they might be able to make mincemeat out of those Roaches. Let's take a look at the unit composition once more. He's messing up a big army here. Oh, he caught that Observer, and with that 2nd, yeah, he's gonna get killed. Pop! There goes the Observer. 33 Roaches, 35 Zerglings there with 9 Infestors, 2 Immortals, 6 Zealots, 3 Colossus, and 8 Stalkers. So, seems like he's gonna have a very interesting unit composition. And here they go, they're gonna meet up here in the middle. No, DIMAGA pulling back. He still doesn't have the right amount of forces, at least feels like it, because DIMAGA is just holding back a little bit. But seems like that desRow is ready for the battle once more, and here he comes. Roaches advancing here to the 3rd base from desRow. desRow must be needing economy as well, because his 2 bases might be close to exhausted. And here he goes, massive battle ensuing here with all of those Colossus just grinding down the infested Terrans that show up on the front line. So many infested Terrans getting thrown by DIMAGA, but they're getting killed quite quickly, and now trying to reach those Immortals, killing 1 Immortal, 2nd Immortal down, but this 3 Colossus has been piling up the kills for so long. Now 2 more coming from the back, 5 Colossus. This is just huge damage to this front line from DIMAGA. These Roaches won't be able to take all this damage for much longer, and there it is again. desRow resisting the aggression, defending here, maintaining his 3rd, ongoing, so it's going to be finished, and he's going to have his probes rolling there. Look at this Natural Expo, completely exhausted. Main base, same thing. On the DIMAGA side, same thing going on his main, same thing or close to it on his Natural Expo. So both of these players needing really seriously of a 3rd base, a 3rd mineral line, sending so many probes here. I think they need to expand once more, but after all of this violence, after all of this aggression, I'm pretty sure both of them are afraid of just risking too much, try to expand and pay for it. And here he comes, forces from desRow advancing here to the middle of the map. So many infested Terrans once more popping out, with desRow running away, leaving a single sentry. Poor sentry is gonna get roasted so quickly. But there it is, again, DIMAGA defending, pushing to the middle of the map, taking some of the map control off desRow's clutches. Seems like one of these Colossus got attracted by a unit there, but he's gonna head back to that high ground. These probes need to go back home. There's a couple of Zerglings there, and well, desRow is happy to have his 3rd base rolling. DIMAGA seems to have the same feeling, and they're both on some sort of a Mexican standoff here in the middle of the map. Zernaga Watchtower, so many infestors here, all of them massing up on the energy one more, trying to replenish that energy to throw more fungals and more infested Terrans soon enough. This Zernaga Watchtower, the one on the south, getting controlled by desRow, and inside his base, let's take a look. Double Robo rolling there, more Colossus coming out. So after getting that that Immortal count, I guess he was just pleased with it and decided to go for some Colossus. And I mean, you guys know I already commented this in the past. When you get to like 4 or 5 Colossus, you reach a critical mass that basically roasts, melts away any front line. It's really hard, and you need to find some solution to counter that. And oh, now he's working on hallucination really late, but seems like he might be having a plan for it. Meanwhile, macro hatch, there's the infestation pit, the double evo rolling. What else is going on here inside his main base? Not much. On this natural expo, Roach Warren, that's it. On his third, nothing. So seems like that he's just stuck, well, with 4 hatcheries, so his production is going to be pretty solid. And there's so many, whoa, so many of those probes trying to long distance mine, and we're going to have a confrontation here once more. Those stalkers with zealots and the Colossus force roasting away the roaches once more. There's not much left of the forces that were attempting to clear the rocks that give access to this base here, where apparently desRow is desperately trying to just mass up some minerals. And here we go, a nice confrontation once more. So many of those infestors, but look at how fast they go under those beams from the Colossus. And even look at this nice, brilliant play here with the hallucinated Colossus drawing the fire from DIMAGA's forces. And like this, DIMAGA is just wasting all of his DPS on units that are completely irrelevant. Very well played by desRow, just buying so much time here, leaving the hallucinated Colossus on the front, try to draw the fire to them, and at the same time we're gonna have DIMAGA running back home once more with the remaining forces from his infestor army. And well, he had so many infestors, but they're so fragile, they need something on the front, taking the shot so they can just grind down the forces from the back with some infested Terrans and also fungal growth. Seems like that's not gonna happen. desRow arriving here on the third base from DIMAGA, going through that mineral line, barbecue time with those beams from the Colossus. Oh, more infestors coming out, instantly getting picked up. Nice fungal on the Colossus. Also, nice infested Terrans, well positioned to DPS the Colossus down. Will be able to shoot one down? No chance. This one, the one in the middle, is so close, but still alive and clicking. Going there and throwing more and more beams onto that front line of DIMAGA. Doesn't seem DIMAGA has enough here. He's depending on only infestors. That's basically what he got at the moment, with desRow pushing ahead, going through his main base once more, heading to his main base, going through his natural expo. I'd like to correct myself. And here he goes into this natural expo once more, shooting down all of those eggs, all of those infested Terrans, and arriving here with no defenses by DIMAGA. DIMAGA has like 3 infestors, so this is not even close, and seems like that DIMAGA will be having to tap out of this game. For now, the Colossus roasting everything coming out of those hatcheries, more roaches approaching, but I mean 3 roaches, 4 roaches against these forces, no chance. And DIMAGA, after a brutal, grueling battle, having to tap out, GG out of the match. Boy, this was intense. desRow just brute forcing his opponent out of this match, chewing down all of his forces, killing everything that moved, and making that huge brutal attack early on the game, in which he was completely relentless and put DIMAGA in total dire straits for so long. And it was impressive to see desRow just going and insisting and pushing on and on and on and on, to the point where he had DIMAGA cornered inside his natural expo. And well, then he decided to pull back, transition into some Immortals and Colossus to mix them on his unit composition, and from there he just went on and crushed DIMAGA. The DIMAGA, his option was to mix some infestors on his unit composition, but I mean, infestors are good, yes, but with nothing on the front taking the shots, they go down really fast. So, series tied 1-1. Awesome game in my modest opinion, quite exciting. I'm a bit tired, so I hope I didn't mess up the game much. I'm sorry if I did. You guys just feel free to troll me and bash me all you want. And let's go for game 3. It's going to be the final match, the ace match, and it's supposed to be a huge battle. See y'all later, have fun.